I don't think any of us like to think we are distorting reality to make our unacceptable actions or decisions seem more reasonable. But just hearing that definition, I was able to look out in the world, and I see a whole lot of rationalizing going on in the world with the media, politicians, or just people that we have to interact with. Very often we see they like to distort that reality to fit whatever point they're trying to make. And it's so often easier to see it out there than to see it in here. Well, the Great One goes on to say, too frequently do you make excuses for that which you do. And okay, maybe I do know something about that. For example, I have a tendency to not leave enough time to get to an appointment. I then have to drive faster than I know I should, and then when I arrive, I might even say something like, oh, the traffic was so bad, that's why I'm late. I'm distorting reality, even though I might not want to admit that, to justify my late arrival. When the truth is, I just wanted to get one last task done before I left, which I didn't allow enough time for. But then, hear what he says when he goes on. You must learn to face reality and to admit mistakes, to admit what has been done through poor judgment, forgetfulness, and so on. And in your admittance of a mistake, you are able to go beyond it. Well, when I read that kind of gave me hope that we can learn to go beyond it. And this is getting to that other word in the phrase of conquest. Through your humble acknowledgement will come open realizations into the thresholds of powers and abilities which lie beyond that weakness for the conquest of the weakness. So again, going back to my simple example, by acknowledging that I'm not leaving enough time to drive safely, by seeing the weakness and putting my own needs above the needs of the people that I'm going to meet, that helps open me up to receive that divine help that can come to help me overcome this issue. They say, remember this discipline. Let there be no more rationalizing excuses for doing what you have done. Instead, freely admit what you have done, express your regret, include your self-forgiveness, and then will that in the future it shall no longer exist.